ครับ
In a world that thrives on instant gratification, patience has become a rare commodity. We live in a time where everything is just a click away. Food, entertainment, even relationships. This culture of immediacy has conditioned us to expect results without delay. But life, my friend, is not Amazon Prime. You can't just order success and have it delivered to your doorstep the next day. The real world operates on its own timeline, and if you want to achieve anything meaningful, you have to learn to be patient. Patience isn't just about waiting for something to happen. It's about maintaining your composure and focus while you wait. It's about staying committed to your goals even when the journey gets tough, even when progress seems painfully slow. And trust me, it will get tough. There will be days when you feel like you're making no headway at all. There will be times when you're tempted to throw in the towel and walk away. But those are the moments when patience becomes your greatest ally. I've been through enough in life to know that nothing worth having comes easy. I've faced challenges that would make most people crumble, but I refused to let them break me. Instead, I chose to endure. I chose to be patient because I knew that the pain I was going through was temporary, but the rewards of persistence would last a lifetime. Patience is not a passive state of being. It's an active, deliberate choice to keep going, to keep pushing, to keep believing in yourself and your vision. It's the understanding that while you may not see immediate results, every step you take, every small action you make is bringing you closer to your goal. It's about playing the long game and not getting distracted by the quick wins that often lead to short-lived success. Let me tell you something real. There's no shortcut to greatness. Those overnight success stories you hear about, they're bullshit. Behind every overnight success is a decade of hard work, late nights, and unwavering patience. The truth is, success is the result of consistent effort over time. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and trusting that the process will eventually pay off. And let's be real, there will be times when your patience is tested to the limit. When you're grinding day in and day out, and it feels like you're getting nowhere. When you're doing everything right, but nothing seems to be working. These are the moments that separate the winners from the quitters. Because it's easy to be patient when things are going well, but the real test comes when you're faced with adversity. In those moments, you have to dig deep. You have to remind yourself why you started in the first place. You have to hold on to your vision and trust that your time will come. And most importantly, you have to keep moving forward, even if it's just one small step at a time. Because every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. Patience is also about resilience. It's about getting back up every time life knocks you down. It's about not letting setbacks derail your progress. When things don't go according to plan, it's easy to get discouraged, to feel like all your efforts have been in vain. But here's the thing: setbacks are not failures. They're just a part of the journey. And if you can learn to see them as opportunities to grow, rather than obstacles to overcome, you'll develop the kind of patience that leads to true success. One of the hardest things about being patient is dealing with uncertainty. When you're working towards a goal, especially a long-term one, there's always that nagging doubt in the back of your mind. What if it doesn't work out? What if all this effort is for nothing? This is where faith comes into play. Not necessarily in a religious sense, but faith in yourself, in your abilities, and in the process. You have to believe that your hard work will pay off, even when there's no immediate evidence to support that belief. Patience also requires discipline. It requires you to resist the temptation to take shortcuts or settle for less than you deserve. It's about staying true to your values and your vision, even when the path is difficult. It's about making decisions based on your long-term goals rather than your short-term desires. This kind of discipline is what separates those who achieve lasting success from those who are constantly chasing after the next big thing. But let's be clear. Patience doesn't mean sitting around and waiting for things to happen. It's about taking consistent, purposeful action towards your goals, even when the results aren't immediately visible. It's about trusting that every effort, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your destination. It's about understanding that progress is often slow and incremental, but that doesn't mean it isn't happening. One of the biggest misconceptions about patience is that it's a passive quality, something that you either have or you don't. But in reality, patience is a skill, and like any skill, it can be developed and strengthened over time. The more you practice patience, the easier it becomes to maintain it, even in the face of challenges. So how do you develop patience? It starts with changing your mindset. Instead of seeing patience as a burden, see it as a strength. Instead of focusing on how long something is taking, focus on the progress you're making, no matter how small. Celebrate the small victories along the way and use them as motivation to keep going. Another key to developing patience is to manage your expectations. Understand that anything worth achieving takes time. Set realistic goals for yourself and be prepared for the fact that the journey may take longer than you initially anticipated. And when things don't go according to plan, don't beat yourself up. Instead, use it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Surround yourself with people who support your goals and who understand the importance of patience. Avoid those who try to rush you or who make you feel like you're not progressing fast enough. Remember, this is your journey, not theirs. You have to move at your own pace and trust that you're exactly where you need to be. Finally, practice mindfulness. Stay present in the moment and focus on what you can control rather than worrying about the future. Patience requires you to let go of the need for immediate results and to trust in the process. It's about finding peace in the journey rather than constantly striving for the destination. Look, life isn't fair, and it sure as hell isn't easy. We all know this. Every single one of us has faced situations that make us want to scream, "Why me?" Whether it's a failed relationship, a career that isn't taking off, or just the relentless grind of daily life, it's easy to look around and start pointing fingers. Maybe it's your boss who's holding you back, or your partner who doesn't get you. Maybe it's the economy, your upbringing, or just plain bad luck. Whatever the reason, it's easy to blame someone or something else when things don't go your way. But here's the hard truth. Blaming others won't get you anywhere. In fact, it's one of the most toxic habits you can develop. It keeps you stuck, powerless, and bitter. If you want to change your life, if you want to move forward and start living the way you've always dreamed, you have to stop blaming others and start taking responsibility. I'm not saying this from some high horse, looking down on those who struggle. Trust me, I've been there. I've faced more than my share of setbacks and hardships. I've had days where it felt like the universe was conspiring against me, where nothing went right, and I was drowning in frustration and anger. But here's what I learned through all those experiences. The moment you start blaming others, you start losing control over your own life. It's like handing over the keys to your car and saying, "Here, you drive. I'll just sit here and complain about where we're going." But the problem is, no one else is going to drive your life where you want it to go. That's your job. And it starts with taking responsibility. Blaming others is a cop-out. It's the easy way out. When things go wrong, it's much simpler to say, "It's not my fault," than to look in the mirror and admit, "Maybe I could have done something differently." But here's the catch. Every time you blame someone else, you're giving away your power. You're admitting that you're not in control, that your life is at the mercy of others or of circumstances beyond your control. And as long as you believe that, you'll never be able to change anything. You'll just keep spinning your wheels, stuck in the same rut, getting more and more frustrated as time goes on. But what if you flipped the script? What if, instead of blaming others, you started looking at what you could do differently? What if you took every setback, every failure, as an opportunity to learn and grow? It's not easy, I know. It's a lot more comfortable to stay in the victim role, to keep telling yourself that nothing is your fault, that you're just unlucky. But comfort doesn't lead to growth. Growth happens when you push yourself out of your comfort zone, when you take responsibility for your own life and start making changes. Taking responsibility doesn't mean beating yourself up or taking the blame for everything that goes wrong. It doesn't mean wallowing in guilt or self-pity. It means recognizing that you have the power to influence your own life, to make choices that will lead you to where you want to be. It means looking at every situation, good or bad, and asking yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this to become better, stronger, more resilient? This isn't just some motivational fluff. This is real, and it's something I've lived. I've been knocked down more times than I can count, and there were moments when it felt like staying down was the only option. But every time I got back up, not because I'm some kind of superhero, but because I refused to let anyone else dictate my life. I refused to believe that I was powerless. And you can do the same. The first step is to stop blaming others. Stop making excuses. Yes, life is hard. And yes, sometimes things happen that are out of your control. But how you respond to those things, that's entirely up to you. You can choose to be a victim, or you can choose to take control. It's that simple. Think about it. When was the last time you blamed someone else for something that went wrong in your life? Maybe it was a big thing, like losing a job or ending a relationship. Or maybe it was something smaller, like a bad day at work or a fight with a friend. Whatever it was, Think about how you felt in that moment. Did blaming someone else make you feel better? Did it solve the problem? Probably not. In fact, it probably just made you feel more frustrated, more helpless, and more stuck. Now imagine if, instead of blaming, you had taken a different approach. What if you had looked at the situation and asked yourself, what can I do to change this? How can I take control and make sure this doesn't happen again? It's a completely different mindset, one that shifts you from being a passive victim to an active participant in your own life. This mindset shift is powerful, and it's something you can start practicing right now. The next time something goes wrong, resist the urge to blame. Instead, take a step back and evaluate the situation. What role did you play in it? What could you have done differently? What can you learn from this experience? It's not about beating yourself up. It's about taking ownership of your life. When you start taking responsibility, amazing things begin to happen. You start to see opportunities where, before you saw only obstacles. You begin to realize that you're not as powerless as you once thought. You start to take control of your destiny instead of just letting life happen to you. And most importantly, you start to grow. You become stronger, more resilient, more capable of handling whatever life throws your way. But it's not just about personal growth. Taking responsibility also has a profound impact on your relationships. When you stop blaming others and start owning your actions, you become more trustworthy, more reliable, more respected. People start to see you as someone who is in control, someone who doesn't shy away from challenges or make excuses. They start to look up to you, to respect you, and to trust you. And that kind of respect is priceless. So, the next time you're faced with a setback, a failure, or a disappointment, don't waste your time blaming others. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that you're just a victim of circumstances. Instead, take responsibility. Own your life. Take control of your future. Because at the end of the day, the only person who can truly change your life is you. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you'll start living the life you've always dreamed of. Life is tough. There's no denying that, but you're tougher. You've been through hell and back, and you're still standing. So don't give away your power by blaming others. Don't let anyone else control your life. Take responsibility, take control, and start living on your own terms. You've got this.